Now we're adding significant noise to the environment, as you can see here, all the way up to 81 decibels of noise. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay quiet and see how much the H3s are going to cancel, and then we're going to continue with the audio test. Let's go ahead and switch. Now in today's video, we're taking a look at the SOUNDPEATS H3 true wireless earbuds. And these are really cool looking earbuds, but they're more than just cool looking. They actually have some great features. We're talking about active noise canceling, 7 hours of battery life, and they look like ear monitors. I really like the look of these, and they're super comfortable as well. So in today's video, we're going to do an EBPMAN style call quality test. We're going to do audio tests, and we're going to put these to the test because they have a lot of mics, AI technology built in, and they claim to do really well with call quality. So we're going to see how well they do. So let's go ahead and check them out. Now, before taking a closer look at the H3s, we're going to take a look at the actual specs so you can see why I'm so excited about these. You're talking about 7 hours of battery life with 36 hours with the case. And if you're able to use up the earbuds, in one sitting, 7 hours, you can charge them within 10 minutes to get 2 more hours of battery life. Now, from an audio perspective, you have 2 balanced armature drivers, and you also have 12mm dynamic drivers. They're going to give you a really nice, robust audio experience. Even the power up sound, when it says, connected, sounds more theater-like, more high fidelity. And these are running on Qualcomm's latest chip. Snapdragon sound as well supported. And you get LDAC and aptX Lossless audio, which is going to be great. You do have active noise canceling, and that's AI powered. You have 6 mics that tend to reduce up to 55 decibels of noise. And it has 4 modes. It has adaptive, indoor, outdoor, and it has also traffic. And I will tell you, it's kind of freaky when you start going through the modes as soon as you choose them, because all of a sudden just everything disappears. They're really, really good. Now, they also have 6 mics that are AI powered for calls. And this is the area that I'm really excited about also seeing. Not just the active noise canceling, but the AI for calls is really important to me because I do a lot of phone calls. Now, they do support multipoint connections, which means you can have 2 devices connected at the same time. They have an IPX5 rating, and they also have a mode for low latency gaming, Bluetooth 5.4, so packed with features. Let's take a closer look so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, in the box, in addition to getting some ear tips and the standard stuff, I just wanted to focus on really the actual earbuds themselves. So here you have a really nice case. It has kind of like a transparent top to it. You can see that you have your USB-C charging port there. And when you open these up, and we'll open up on this side, you can see what the earbuds look like. You have an LED here that indicates that you're basically, you have what your power level was, and it's nice and green. And as you take these out, they do have magnetic locking. So you can see how they self-guide almost when they go in. And they're not going to come out in the event that this opens. We'll take these both out. And you do have extra gel tips, right? So you have tips that you'll be able to just check these out and see and make sure that you have the right fit. So as we look at these, a couple things going on here. First of all, they're in ear, right? You see that they have kind of like this transparent look to it. So you can see some of the electronics that are in there. And they're really, really comfortable as well, which I was surprised because they look large. They have a different feel and look. Let me put these on so you can see them. So you can see what they look like here. Even though they're larger, and because of that transparent look and the color itself, they kind of blend really nice, at least with my skin color. So you can see I'll look straight. And I'm going to turn a little bit this way and this way. And this is what they look like. I think they look really good. Shake test, they don't come out. So that was something I was a little concerned about because they just look larger than I would have expected, and they should feel heavier than I actually feel them in my ear. So they're very comfortable to wear, but then again, they have that look where it almost blends in really nicely with at least my face. I don't have really big cheeks, but you can see when I look straight ahead, they're pretty easy to kind of get lost really nicely. Now, from an audio perspective, what I'll say is this. You have bass, mids, and high are present. I have them in bass mode. I really love bass because I want them to be bassy, but I also don't want them to overwhelm the other sounds. So that means your mids and your highs are still present, but you're not hearing something that is so bass heavy that it's yelling at you. The music doesn't feel like it's like that. I feel I'm immersed. I feel like I'm in the actual studio with the artist recording the music, which is what I look for in audio. And again, the fidelity is really there. The audio test that I'm going to do, I choose specific tracks for these type of tests. And what I like to start with is vocals. And then vocals, I like to introduce instruments. And then from instruments, I like going into, the rest of the music as well as any other voice actors that are part of the music. So you're going to see that. And I do that because I like to hear that music separation. And it also gives me a way to really see what happens when everything comes together. Is it harmonious or is it challenging and overpowering each other? So you'll see, this is why I've selected the track that you're going to hear. And then I have a bass track going on because, hey, everybody likes bass. I always get the question, how loud are these? These are loud. But if one of the things that they have is that they do have tests to make sure that you have the right fit. Most cases, when someone tells me that they're really looking for something loud, it's possibly because they have hearing loss, or it's possibly because they don't have the right fit. So this is going to do a fit. And when you look at these earpieces, the actual pieces themselves, I'll put this right there on the camera, that guy right there. In many cases, you think that you should wear a left at the same size, a right at the same size, but your ear canals are very different. So if you ever have experience where one earpiece falls out and the other one stays in securely, you have the wrong size. It's okay to put a small, medium or large, or a small and a large together because your ears are different. So make sure that you have the right one. And then all you have to do is you put it in your ear and then you twist the lock. And then that's pretty much it. So I like them from an audio perspective. I thought they performed really well. And the active noise canceling modes work incredibly well as well, to the point where as I was testing these out, and if I was testing them out just to get a quiet moment, or if I was listening to music, many times Nilda had to tap me on the shoulder and she said, "Hey, I'm talking to you," because I couldn't hear her. That's how good they were. So I really like the active noise canceling. But next, let's talk about call quality. Now next we're going to do a call quality test of the SOUNDPEATS H3s in a quiet environment. We'll take a look at our decibel readings. We're looking at about 36 decibels of noise. It's going to switch.
Now this is what the SOUNDPEATS H3s are going to sound like in a quiet environment. This is a test, 1, 2, 3. This is our test. Next, we're going to add some wind. Now this is what the SOUNDPEATS H3s are going to sound like with wind in the environment. This is a test, 1, 2, 3. This is our test.
Now we're adding significant noise to the environment, as you can see here, all the way up to 81 decibels of noise. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay quiet and see how much the H3s are going to cancel, and then we're going to continue with the audio test. Let's go ahead and switch.
So this is what the H3s are going to sound like in a noisy environment. This is a test, 1, 2, 3. This is our test. Now if you wonder what the H3s are going to sound like with an infant crying in the background, this is what they sound like with an infant crying. Now if you wonder what they sound like with the dog barking in the background, this is what they sound like with the dog barking. Now if you wonder what they're going to sound like with the doorbell ringing in the background, this is what they're going to sound like with the doorbell ringing.
You look at me like I'm crazy when I shut my feelings out. You look at me like I'm different, still you stay cause you feel something real. Get so lost in my moments, doesn't mean I don't need you. I fell in love with your colors, they kinda tell me what I'm thinking. Bass.
Now the SOUNDPEATS app is a very mature app, and as you can see here, there's a lot of settings that you can play with. I could go into transparency mode, and the transparency or pass-through mode sounds good, so I can hear everything that's going on around me. I could also then go into normal mode, which is going to be passive noise canceling. Nothing else is really on except it's like earplugs in your ear. And then I could go into active noise canceling. And when you turn on the ANC, you're going to hear it in the app. But then what you could do is you have multiple modes. So you have adaptive. You also have indoor. It gets quiet. It gets really quiet. You have outdoor. And then you have outdoor, which is the last one? Outdoor transportation. There we go. So you have all those different modes that you can actually play with. And what I find is that it just does really well in each one of those settings. My preference so far has been the actual outdoor, or actually, now my preference has been the indoor noise reduction. That's kind of been like where I kind of enjoy it the most. Now you do have your touch operations, right? And because the buttons, you can set your touch. So single tap, double tap, and triple tap for what you want it to do. You have your equalizer, and the audio samples that you see were all done using bass boost as the mode that I would chose. But you do have an adaptive equalizer that you can set.
right? And that's going to be able to take you through an audio test. And remember how I mentioned that some people will ask me, how loud does it go? And it could be because of hearing loss. You'll want to take this audio test so that you can tune them to your hearing. That's what this is going to do for you. And then you have custom sound effects. As we go down, you have also disable touch controls, which I have mine on. You have your game mode that you can enable, LDAC, dual device connection. That's that multi-point connection that we talked about. Fit test, which means that it's going to check and see if you have a good seal. And then what you have is find your earbuds. So also you can do your firmware upgrade here. So a lot of capabilities, a lot of stuff going on, telling you battery level. It's a must-have app. And by the way, I have the latest firmware in this test. So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.